Hello children, myself Divya Sharma from Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. Children, in today's part 2 video, I will be continuing with chapter number 1, that is Landforms of the World. I will be continuing with the topic rivers, okay. But before starting with the topic, let's have a quick recap of what we have discussed in the part 1 video. We discussed 4 major landforms: mountains, plains, plateaus and deserts. Landforms, as I told you, are the natural features of the earth's surface. So these 4 major landforms we have discussed. We discussed mountains, valleys and passes, coasts, peninsula, bays and islands. So these were the topics which were being discussed. Now in today's part 2 video, chapter number 1, Landforms of the World, I will be discussing the topic rivers. So you have to take out your books, Getting Ahead in Social Studies, page number 5. Now children, on page number 5 you have your internal question number 2. In the part 1 video I discussed internal question number 1, that was name one of the cold deserts. Now on page number 5 you have your second internal question, that is name the strait that lies between India and Sri Lanka. The answer is Park Strait. And what is a strait? It's a narrow passage of water that connects 2 large water bodies. See, if you look at this diagram, see this Park Strait, it's a narrow passage of water which is connecting 2 large water bodies, that is Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. So this strait is a narrow passage of water. Now you have to write down the internal question in your book. Okay, so you will write down the question, name the strait that lies between India and Sri Lanka. The answer is Park Strait. So this is your internal question number 2. You have to write down on page number 5. It's in the did you know column. Okay. Now let's start with our new topic, that is rivers. Long streams of water are called rivers. Many rivers start in the mountains from melting snow in glaciers. Now rivers originate from the mountains due to the melting of the snow. They have water throughout the year and are called perennial rivers. Most rivers in North India are perennial rivers. Now as these rivers have water throughout the year, so they are called perennial rivers. And most of the rivers in North India are perennial rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus. Why these are called perennial rivers? Because they are snow fed. In South India, rivers are formed by rainwater. They do not have water throughout the year. Such rivers are called seasonal rivers. Now in South India, we have rivers which do not have water throughout the year, but they are formed by the rainwater. That means they flow only during the rainy season, and such rivers are called seasonal rivers. Rivers ultimately flow into the sea. Now few of the examples of the seasonal rivers are like your Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari in the South India. Now along the course of a river, several smaller rivers join the main river. They are called tributaries of the main river. Along the course of the river means the direction in which the river is flowing. Along the course of the river, several small rivers join the main river, and these are called tributaries. See, several small rivers will first join when the river is flowing. Several small rivers will join in the main river, and these are called tributaries. Before entering the sea, the river becomes very slow. It carries a lot of sediment. Now, sediment includes your pieces of rocks, clay, silt. Okay. Now, when the rivers before entering the sea, their flow becomes very slow. Okay. This keeps getting deposited on the way and causes the river to break up into channels or distributaries. Now, as the rivers are flowing down, their flow will become slow, and the sediment which it is carrying with it, it causes the rivers to break up into channels or distributaries. These spread out like a triangle before falling into the sea. Such a region is called a delta. Now see, when the rivers are flowing, their flow will be slowed down, and the sediments which it is carrying, they will settle down. It will get deposited, and before flowing into the main river, okay, they will make these kind of channels, or we can say distributaries. Okay, and as you can see, it is in the shape of a triangle. This is a delta. Okay, this is called the delta. They spread out like a triangle. Now, as the rivers are flowing, they have spread out in such a way that it is forming a triangle, and this is called the delta. The delta made by the Brahmaputra and the Ganga is the largest in the world. Now, the delta which the Brahmaputra and the Ganga river form, that is the Sundarban delta, it is the largest in the world. The Nile in Egypt is the longest river in the world. Some other important rivers are the Mississippi in the USA, the Congo in Africa, and the Ganga in India. In history, we find that great civilizations have always developed along rivers, as the soil is richest here and the rivers provide water for drinking, domestic and agriculture purposes. Now, a civilization means the advanced stage of human, social or cultural development. Now, if you read history, you will find that most of the civilizations are developed along the rivers. Why? Because the soil over here is rich. It is you have fertile land which is good for growing crops. Also, the rivers provide adequate amount of drinking water, and it is also used for domestic and agriculture purpose. And moreover, goods and people can be transported easily because it has a fertile land surrounding the river beds. So you will find that most of the civilizations have been developed along the rivers. Okay. Now children, this was all about the topic rivers. Now you have to give a read to this topic as well. Now I'll discuss the copy work. Now let's discuss the copy work, children. Define the following. First define is bay, water body surrounded on three sides by land. Bay is a water body that is surrounded by land on three sides. Second define is peninsula, a landmass which projects into the sea and is surrounded by water on three sides. Now, water body which is surrounded by water on three sides, that is called a peninsula. Like India is also a peninsula. Now, you have answered the following questions. Question number 1. What are landforms? Name the main landforms of the earth. Answer. The different features that make up the earth's surface are called landforms. The four main landforms of the earth are mountains, plains, plateaus and deserts. Now, as I told you that these are the natural features of the earth's surface. The different features make up the earth's surface. These are nothing but your landforms, and the four major landforms which we have learnt about are mountains, plains, plateaus and deserts. Question number 2. What are fold mountains? Give an example. Answer. Mountains which are formed when two large land masses push against each other are called fold mountains. Example, the Alps in Europe. Now the fold mountains, due to the tectonic plate movement, when the two land masses are pushed against each other, they are compressed due to the force, hence creating a fold that results in the formation of fold mountains. Question number 3 is, what is the difference between a mountain and a plateau? Answer, you will draw a line in between, okay, with pencil, then you will give the heading mountain, and here you will give the heading on the right hand side plateau. Underline both the headings. First, a mountain is a rocky mass of land that rises higher than the surroundings. Second, mountains have very steep slopes and high peaks. Example, the Himalayas. First point of plateau, a plateau is a large area of land that is higher than the surroundings. Plateaus are more or less flat at the top. Example, the Deccan Plateau. Now come on to the next question, that is question number 4. What is the difference between a perennial and a seasonal river? Again, you will draw a line in between, give the heading perennial river, seasonal river, underline the headings. First, starting with the perennial river, the rivers which flow throughout the year are known as perennial rivers. Now, why these will have water throughout the year? Because they are snow fed. These rivers originate from the Himalayas. Third point, these rivers are fed by melting snow. Seasonal river, the rivers which flow only during rainy months of the year are known as seasonal rivers. Now they will only flow whenever there is monsoon seasons, during the rainy months. These rivers do not originate from the Himalayas. These rivers are fed by rain. Question number 5. What is a desert? Name some of the important deserts of the world. Answer, deserts are large, extremely dry areas of land where you have less rainfall and very less vegetation. Some of the important deserts of the world are, first, the Sahara Desert in North Africa, second, the Thar Desert in India. So this is your copy work, children. You have 5 questions. Give a read to the complete chapter once again and complete your book work and copy work very nicely. Thank you.